everyone. This is Michelle. We are going to get started with our PI coordinator call today. Shahzad Saeed will be doing the first slides, and then I will take over. Please know that you are all on mute. You should be able to see my screen. Shahzad and Josh, are you seeing?
I am seeing your screen.
You are. You're seeing the combined PI coordinator call?
Yep.
Okay, awesome. Okay, great. So Shahzad, if anyone, as you go through, if you have any questions, please use the hand raising function on your computer or go ahead and type them into the chat box, and we will answer them at the end of the call. Thanks.
Thank you, Michelle. Everyone, hi. Thanks for joining the June PI coordinator call, the second call for this month. Michelle, can we have the first slide?
Yeah, are you seeing the combined monthly PI coordinator call slide?
I am.
You are. And now are you seeing the overview slide?
Nope.
Okay, I don't think you, yeah, make me the presenter, Josh. Yep, okay, thank you. Now we're good.
Yep, I am seeing it now.
Wonderful, thanks for that.
Perfect. So our task today is to sort of review some of the updates on the activation and recruitment front, share some of the best practices as far as randomization of patients is concerned, and basically talk about whose primary responsibility it is. And then Michelle will talk about a new resource that we are activating for the sites, which is the resource parents. And she will also update us with some journal study information. So slide after this, please. Next slide. Thank you. So to date, as of the end of May, we have 42 sites that have been selected and participating. Of these, 40 are activated and ready to go. 2 of these are in various stages of being activated and brought online. As of the beginning of this month, we have randomized 160 patients with almost 3/4 of the sites having recruited at least one patient. As you will see in the slide later on, the spread is primarily amongst 10-12 sites that have the major bulk of these randomized patients, with both Cincinnati and Stanford leading the pack with 13 patients randomized at each site. So thank you to both centers for their diligent and hard work and fantastic results. Next slide, please. As I said, this is a slide that shares and depicts site recruit randomization through the participating sites, with the sites on the left of your screen showing sites with the major randomized patients, and the ones on the right side that have opportunities for improvement and randomization for and ramping up. As I said, total of 160 patients have been randomized as of June 1st, and hopefully we are above that number as we pivot into the middle of the month by now. Next slide, please. So I want to take a moment to thank all your efforts to recruit patients. I know this is not an easy study to recruit and randomize patients into. It takes a village, literally, for randomization to happen in a successful manner. And we are thankful to all team members who are paying attention, as well as really doing diligent work to make this happen. We are making progress, but we are almost 9+ months behind our recruitment goal and schedule. In other words, to reach our recruitment goal of 425 patients, we still need to randomize another 265 patients in less than 1 year, which is 4 times the current rate of recruitment. 75% of sites have approached or consented patients in the last couple of months, but again, almost 1/3 of the sites have not done this in the last 4 months or so, which is again an area of focus if your site happens to be in that group, to revisit your processes and revisit with your team to see what can be retooled and revamped to ramp up things at your site. As I said, this is not an easy study to recruit into, and we are all in this together as a village to make this happen. And despite the fact that we are behind our schedule, this is still the largest randomized placebo-controlled trial of pediatric Crohn's disease that has happened so far in the world. So do take a moment to reflect on that as well. Next slide, please. I'm going to share a couple of things here that underlines one key aspect, which is the ultimate responsibility for the conduct of the study as well as recruitment at each site. We recognize that, as I previously stated, it takes a village. There's a lot of clinicians and staff members who are working to enroll patients. We thank all of them. However, it is the best practice for ultimately the site PI or a fully trained co-investigator to be the final say in ensuring that a patient is eligible for the study and can be randomized. Hence, a site PI is really encouraged to be the one to randomize the patients within the system and then come up with the processes and strategies when he or she is unable to be that person who does that. Next slide, please. So again, thinking proactively and thinking in the QI mode of pre-visit planning on times when the PI is unavailable for meetings, schedules, scopes, being out for vacation, etc., to think about who would be the fallback person to take on some of those responsibilities. So think about whether your site co-investigator can serve that role for making the final say for randomization, eligibility, criteria, etc. And then if your site, you don't have a co-investigator and or that co-investigator happens to be out as well, what are other resources that can be leveraged to serve that role so that the conduct of the trial itself is not stopped short because of lack of staffing or lack of the investigator oversight. Again, the PI is ultimately responsible for making sure all of these processes are in place. Next slide, please. So Michelle is going to share another best practice and a new tool that we are working on in leveraging and making it available to the sites. So without further ado, Michelle, you're on the mic.
Thanks, Shahzad. Yes, we wanted to talk a little bit about the new resource we're developing, and that is the Resource Parents. I know this was sent out to you all via email, and some of you had gotten back to me with some questions, so I just thought this would be a good way to go over this with everyone and familiarize you with what we're starting. So the Combined Parent Partners and Engagement Team are working to identify Resource Parents as another way in which to engage families in the combined trial. Resource Parents are parents or guardians whose child has been participating in the combined study for at least 3 months and who might be willing to, or who decide they're willing to share their experience in combined with families and parents that are considering signing up. and be available to answer questions from parents or to help them in making their own decision about whether to join or not. We hope that these resource parents will provide their personal experience and perspective on what it's like to be in the study. And we also will be training them to direct parents to the study team at their site or their clinician when any medical or other questions outside the research parent purview arise. So we really want parents talking about their own experiences in the study, and we will train them to make sure that they're not answering any medical questions. So what do you all need to do? Really nothing at this time. We did reach out to a few specific sites. I think a couple of you might be on this call today. And we asked you to see if you had any potentially interested parents. I have gotten 2 names of parents that are interested in being resource parents, and we're awaiting maybe a few more. Excuse me. And so we will be reaching out to them shortly. Once we have our families fully identified and trained, then we will reach out to you all with the new information on how you can use this resource. So we're really excited about this. This has been a long time coming, and the parent partners and our team have really worked hard to get this going. So we hope this will be a useful resource for everyone. David Wall was on the call earlier this week, and as he said, we don't anticipate this is going to close that large participant gap that we have, but we do hope that it will help in getting some more families into the study. Okay, and then I wanted to go over some general study updates. Josh Baugh sent out an email last week letting everyone know that Janine Arnaud, who was our study monitor, is no longer working at Cincinnati Children's. However, we're exploring the possibility for her to continue as a contract worker. So that's ongoing right now, and we will keep you posted. In the meantime, Josh Baugh will continue with monitoring reach outs, and we will update you all with any new information when you get it. And we want to do a thank you. Many of you have been responding to our recent queries about PI reviews, needed and missing data, stop dates for AEs, pregnancy tests, concomitant medications, registry visits, and resolving other exceptions that are greater than 30 days old. So thank you very much for doing that. There will be more to come as we continue to look through the data and try to close those gaps. For any monitoring questions in the meantime, if Janine had sent you an email and you just haven't gotten to answering it yet, feel free to reach out to Josh or Combined Help, and we will triage those as we can. But we definitely will at least get back to you and let you know where the status is on that. As a friendly reminder, we want to tell you that at the ICN conference, that presentation, which is the same as the May PI coordinator call, that was mandatory. So please send your updated training log to Josh Baugh or to Combined Help so that we can have it documented that you attended. We will be going through those maybe in the next month or so to make sure we have those from everyone, and we will reach out if we do not have it from you. There were, a handful or so of sites that had not returned their signed contracts for Combined for the current study year. So I did reach out to sites, I believe that was Tuesday, with regard to the unsigned contracts. So if you did get an email from me, please work with your contracting office to get that signed. If you do not know where the contract is, feel free to reach out, and we will make sure that that gets resent so that your contracting office can go ahead and get that returned to us so we have that on file. Protocol 7 was circulated to you all as was information regarding the DSMB meeting. We know that there was trouble getting this information out to sites. And so wanted to let you know that this has been posted. And when I send around these slides, these links will work for you. You can click on them if need be and get to the Protocol 7 documents, the DSMB documents. And then you all can always look on your own in the SharePoint site. And so that's a reminder of the address. Hopefully you have that bookmarked on your computers. You should be able to get in there and find the Protocol 7 documents will be in the regulatory area, and the DSMB documents are in the, I believe it's the resource area, resources for coordinators. So please look there. If you need those, feel free to reach out if you have any questions, and we apologize that there was so much trouble getting that information to you. We think we have that resolved now, and hopefully that will not happen again. And then finally, we do need a PI protocol signature page for that Protocol 7 from everyone. And so this is a list of sites that have returned that PI protocol signature page. So we're still missing it from a lot of sites, and I realize some of that might be due to the problems we had getting that information circulated. So please go ahead and get that back to us. Print that page, have your PI sign it, and you can just scan it and send it back to Combined Health or Josh Baugh, and we will make sure that that gets put in the right place in our eReg binder, and so we have that. And again, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to Josh or me with those questions. Okay, this is just our standard reminder of who's who with Combine that we put in there all the time, so feel free to refer to that as you have questions. And that is all we have for today. If you have any questions, Shahzad and I are happy to answer them. I will look and see if there is something in the, oh, no. Nothing that we need to answer, but thank you, Dr. Adler. So if anybody has any questions, you may put your hand up and I can either unmute you or feel free to type something in the chat box. We'll give people a minute or, a few seconds to a minute just to make sure that we have something.
Yes, thank you, Michelle. So please feel free to ask a question or clarification based on what we presented. Just remember to do the homework, which is to send the PI signature page back to the team. We are also going to be scheduling some check-ins in the next couple of weeks. We've had, I think 4 or 5 of these in the last month or so. And the goal is to sort of take the pulse of how sites are doing and how things are going at each site, learn best practices from the sites, share best practices with the sites. So if your site has not joined one of those check-ins, please keep an eye out for that email and join. I think about 16 or 17 of the sites have already joined one of these check-ins, and we have certainly learned some new information and best practices from a couple of the sites that we are happy to share with the folks who do end up being on the call in the check-in.
And then Jeremy Adler, do you still have a question that you want to ask the group? If so, I did unmute you. If not, that's okay.
No, I'm okay. Thank you.
Okay, thanks. All right, does anybody else have any questions or sharings? Feel free to hit your question mark or type it in.
Yeah, we'll wait for a few more seconds, and then I think we may get to end a little bit earlier than our allotted time, and give 10 minutes back to your day.
Yeah, Shahzad, I'm not seeing anything, so I think we are good.
Thank you all.
Thank you, everybody. Have a great day.
Have a good day.